These are 5 car battery brands worth thinking hard about before you hand over your money, along with 3 that the actual evidence supports. Before we start, I want to be upfront with you about something, because not all 5 of these carry equal weight. Some of them have federal court records and criminal admissions attached to their name, while others have nothing behind them except a mountain of angry customers and very little lab data. I'm going to tell you which is which, because you deserve to know how strong each case is before you make a $200 decision standing in a parking lot. Let's start with the thing almost nobody mentions about car batteries, because it changes how you should think about every logo on that wall. Part 1. Who actually builds your car battery? Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you walk into an auto parts store and stare at a wall of batteries wearing a dozen different logos, you aren't looking at a dozen different companies. You're looking at the output of a very small number of factories. The biggest name you've probably never heard of is Clarios, headquartered in Glendale, Wisconsin, and their own corporate materials claim they produce more than 150 million batteries a year, which they describe as 1/3 of the entire industry's output. Their line is that they power 1 in 3 of the world's vehicles. Second place in North America belongs to East Penn Manufacturing, operating out of Lion Station, Pennsylvania, where they run what's described as the world's largest single-site lead-acid battery plant. That makes them North America's #2 supplier of starting batteries. Then you've got Stryten Energy, headquartered in Milton, Georgia, and hold on to that name because where Stryten came from turns into quite a story later on. Their March and April 2025 expansion announcement, reported by PV Magazine USA on April 1st of 2025, put them at 11 United States manufacturing and battery component plants with roughly 2,500 employees, and a July 2026 acquisition would push them to 15 facilities and about 3,700 people. Rounding out the group is EnerSys, who build the premium stuff, meaning Odyssey and also Northstar, which EnerSys picked up back in 2019. Here's where this gets useful to you as a shopper. Certain brand-to-factory connections are rock solid, confirmed by the companies themselves, and Optima is Clarios straight off the Clarios website, while Odyssey, Northstar, and X2 Power at Batteries Plus all trace to EnerSys, and Deca belongs to East Penn. Those you can bank on. The problem is the second tier, where the connection sits at medium confidence, reported by trade publications, and genuinely shifting by model, region, and year. Everstart at Walmart appears to come from Clarios or East Penn with some Stryten mixed in. Duralast at AutoZone leans mostly Clarios. Superstart at O'Reilly leans mostly East Penn. Interstate and Kirkland at Costco run primarily Clarios. And the Napa and Duracell automotive lines trace back to East Penn. Now, if only a handful of factories build everything, does the brand even matter? Hang on to that question because it turns into the single most important debate in this entire subject, and I'll give you both sides before we finish. Part 2. The 5 you should think twice about. I've ranked these by how strong the evidence actually runs. Number 1. Anything carrying the legacy Exide name. This is the strongest documented case on the entire list, and it isn't close. Exide Technologies filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the United States 3 separate times, starting in 2002, emerging in April of 2004 after eliminating roughly $1.3 billion in debt. Filing number 2 landed on June 10th of 2013 in the District of Delaware, with the company emerging on April 30th of 2015, having cut about $600 million more. The third came on May 19th of 2020, and that's when they split off their European and Asia-Pacific operations and put North America up for sale. The bankruptcies are honestly the least of it. Exide operated a lead battery recycling plant in Vernon, California, capable of processing around 25,000 batteries a day, and that plant shut down in April of 2013. On March 11th and 12th of 2015, Exide entered a 10-year non-prosecution agreement with the United States Attorney for the Central District of California, admitting that the company illegally stored, shipped, and disposed of hazardous waste. Number 2. Econocraft, AutoZone's budget line. This one isn't my opinion. This one belongs to Consumer Reports. Consumer Reports puts more than 100 individual batteries through testing every year, and they run 5 units of every model they rate, which is real methodology behind the ranking. Their lowest rated battery of them all is the Econocraft 35E, AutoZone's budget brand. According to their findings as reported by outlets covering the ratings, the Econocraft finishes last for longevity and posts the weakest reserve capacity on the entire list, with cold cranking amps landing at 490, roughly 140 amps below the average of everything they tested. It sells for $100 and it carries a 90-day warranty. 90 days on a component that AADA says typically runs 3 to 5 years. That warranty length is the manufacturer telling you precisely how much confidence they have in their own product. Number 3. Budget EverStart Value Flooded Batteries. Walmart's EverStart line isn't one product, it's a ladder, and where you stand on that ladder changes everything. At the bottom sits EverStart Value, a Group 35 flooded battery with 490 cold cranking amps and 75 minutes of reserve capacity, priced in the $60 to $79 range as observed in early 2026. EverStart Plus climbs to 525 cca. EverStart Max reaches around 630 to 640 cca with 100 minutes reserved for about $109. At the top you'll find EverStart Platinum AGM running 640 to 650 cca with 100 minutes reserve at $189. Consumer Reports rates the budget EverStart flooded models low, but here's the thing that matters. That same testing rates the EverStart Platinum AGM in Group 47/H5 highly. Same store, same brand name stamped on the case. Completely different outcome. Independent support backs up the concern too. The YouTube channel Project Farm uses reproducible bench methodology, measuring internal resistance, cranking amps, charge rate, and actual CCA, and their Walmart versus O'Reilly comparison, covered by The Drive, found the EverStart flooded units generally underperforming, while the O'Reilly Superstart units overperformed. Fairness demands I add that observers have flagged those results as potentially confounded by how fresh each battery happened to be at purchase. Documented legal history exists here as well. In Larry Maestas versus Walmart Stores Incorporated, case number 2:16-CV-02597 in the Eastern District of California, plaintiffs alleged that the advertised free replacement plus prorated warranty structure on EverStart batteries amounted to false advertising. Number 4. Optima. And here's where I have to be honest with you. Optima builds those distinctive spiral cell AGM batteries, the red top, yellow top, blue top, and since 2022, the orange top lithium, all made by Clarios in Monterrey, Mexico. Spend any time in car forums like IH8MUD, Toyota Nation, JL Wrangler, Tractor by Net, or Defender Source, and you'll run into an enormous volume of complaints about premature failure and difficult warranty service. Here's where I have to be straight with you. That evidence is anecdotal. No lab study exists that I can point you toward documenting an Optima quality decline, which leaves a large pile of internet complaints, and a large pile of internet complaints doesn't equal evidence. Optima rebuts the claim publicly and directly on their own company blog. Optima earns a spot on this list because the complaint volume is real and you should know it exists before spending premium money. Number 5. No-name AGM brands on Amazon. You know the ones. Wise, Mighty Max, Expert Power, and Chrome Battery. The concern repeated everywhere is that the specifications, particularly those CCA ratings, run overstated. Honesty again requires a caveat because that claim is anecdotal and forum-based, and this research turned up no strong documented recall or regulatory finding against those specific brands. The fair way to frame it is this: nobody has proven these are bad, they're simply unverified. Buying a Clarios or East Penn product means buying from a company with a public reputation, a testing record, and a warranty network standing behind the number printed on the label, while an unknown Amazon brand asks you to take that printed number entirely on faith. Consider it a caution rather than an accusation. Part 3. 3 that are actually worth buying enough bad news. Here's where the evidence points positive. Number 1. Costco, meaning Interstate and Kirkland. This is the value play. Costco batteries run primarily Clarios built, which puts them out of the same operation supplying 1 in 3 vehicles worldwide, and you get competitive pricing plus free testing and installation at the warehouse. That service piece matters more than people give it credit for, because a battery tested properly and installed properly is a battery that lasts. Number 2. East Penn and Deka. East Penn runs that Lion Station, Pennsylvania operation, the world's largest single-site lead-acid plant, American-made, and the number 2 supplier across North America. The Deka badge belongs to them directly. Here's the insider angle worth knowing. East Penn also supplies the Napa and Duracell automotive private labels, which means you can get East Penn build quality without hunting down a Deka dealer. Number 3. Premium AGM, either Odyssey or the Platinum tier. If your vehicle runs start-stop, or you live somewhere genuinely hot, or you're carrying a heavy accessory load, this is where the money should go. 2 routes get you there. Enersys Odyssey specializes in AGM and thin-plate pure lead construction, and they're the company that acquired North Star in September of 2019 for roughly $78 million in cash, plus about $104.5 million in assumed debt, folding those transportation batteries into the Odyssey brand by 2021. The other route is the Clarios-built Platinum tier, meaning Die-Hard Platinum AGM and Everstart Platinum AGM. And remember that Consumer Reports rates both of those highly. That Everstart Platinum at $189 stands as one of the better value propositions on the wall according to the testing data. If you take one thing away from 20 minutes of your time, make it this. Check the date code, match the group size, and get the right chemistry for your car, because doing those three things will put you ahead of 90% of the people who obsess over the logo. The brands didn't earn their reputations by accident, but the battery sitting in your car has no idea what its label says. It only knows how fresh it was when you bought it and whether it's the right battery for the job. Thanks for watching, Mr. Mechanic. Catch you in the next video.